The night of March 8, 2024, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, was one that boxing fans around the world had circled on their calendars. The Kingdom Arena buzzed with anticipation, the air thick with the promise of a heavyweight showdown that could reshape the division. ZHILEI Zang, the towering Chinese behemoth nicknamed Big Bang, faced off against Joseph Parker, New Zealand's former world champion, known for his slick movement and iron will. This wasn't just a fight. It was a collision of contrasting styles, cultures, and ambitions, a 12-round saga that would test the limits of human endurance and skill. The stakes were high, the crowd electric, and the global audience glued too. Their screens, with X-posts lighting up in real time as fans shared their excitement. Huntington Beach, ZHILEI Zang, standing at 6'6" and weighing over 280 pounds, was a force of nature in the ring. His journey from a small town in Henan, China, to the global stage was nothing short of remarkable. A 2008 Olympic silver medalist, Zhang had transitioned to the professional ranks with devastating effect, boasting an 81% knockout rate. His left hand was a weapon of mass destruction, capable of ending fights in an instant, earning him his explosive moniker. His fights were spectacles of raw power, each punch carrying the weight of his ambition to put Chinese boxing on the map. Zhang's presence was intimidating, his stoic demeanor, and massive frame made him seem like a mountain that opponents had to climb, only to be buried under an avalanche of his fists. Joseph Parker, at 6'4" and around 240 pounds, was a different kind of warrior. A former WBO heavyweight champion, Parker had faced the best in the division, including Anthony Joshua and Dillian White. His record of 34 wins and 3 losses, with 23 knockouts, spoke to his blend of power and finesse. Parker's story was one of redemption after losing his title in 2018. He'd fought his way back into contention, silencing critics with his resilience and skill. His footwork was fluid, his jab precise, and his ability to absorb punishment and keep fighting made him a fan favorite. Parker's ring IQ and heart were his greatest assets, allowing him to outmaneuver bigger men and turn fights into tactical chess matches. The build-up to this fight was a global phenomenon. On X, fans from China to New Zealand debated fiercely. Zhang's supporters pointed to his recent string of knockouts, arguing that his power was unmatched and that Parker's chin, tested in grueling battles, might not hold up. Parker's fans countered with his experience against top-tier opponents, confident his speed and strategy could frustrate the slower Zhang. Clips of Zhang's crushing left hands and Parker's slick combinations flooded X, racking up millions of views. Betting lines were razor-thin, with Zhang a slight favorite due to his momentum, but Parker's veteran savvy kept the odds close. The hype was relentless, with analysts calling it a potential fight of the year, as the fighters made their ring walks. The atmosphere in the arena was electric. Zhang, in red trunks with gold trim, moved with the deliberate calm of a man who knew his power could change the fight in a single moment. Parker, in black and silver, bounced lightly, his eyes sharp and focused, exuding the confidence of a man who'd been in deeper waters before. The crowd, a mix of local Saudi fans, international travelers, and boxing purists, roared as the referee brought the fighters to the center. The bell rang, and the war began. Round 1 was a feeling-out process. Parker circled the ring using his footwork to keep Zhang at bay, snapping quick jabs that stung the bigger man's face. Zhang, unfazed, stalked forward like a predator, his heavy steps shaking the canvas. His first big left hand missed by inches, but the crowd felt the wind. Off it, Parker landed a clean right hand, a reminder that he wasn't just here to survive. The round set the stage. Zhang's power was a looming threat, but Parker's speed gave him an edge in mobility. Round 2 saw Zhang find his range. A thudding jab rocked Parker's head back, followed by a left hook that grazed his shoulder. Parker responded with a flurry to the body, trying to slow the giant down. The exchanges were fierce, each man testing the other's resolve. Zhang's punches carried the weight of a freight train, but Parker's movement kept him just out of reach, frustrating the Chinese star. On X, fans posted GIFs of the near misses, with comments like, "Parker's dancing, but Zhang's hunting." By round 3, the fight's intensity skyrocketed. Zhang cornered Parker and landed a massive left hook that sent the New Zealander stumbling into the ropes. The crowd erupted, sensing a finish, but Parker clinched, his experience showing. As he bought time to clear his head, he fired back with a combination that bloodied Zhang's nose, drawing cheers from his supporters. The X platform exploded with reactions. Fans marveled at Parker's heart, while others warned that Zhang's power was only a matter of time. Round 4 was a tactical battle. Parker's jab was relentless, snapping Zhang's head backhand, keeping him at bay. Zhang, undeterred, pressed forward, landing a body shot that made Parker wince. The crowd fed off the back and forth, with each clean shot drawing gasps. The contrast was stark: Zhang's methodical pressure versus Parker's darting counters. Both men absorbed punishment, their faces marked, but their spirits unbroken. X-users posted clips of the exchanges, with one viral post calling it a heavyweight clinic in power versus precision. The 5th round brought the fight's defining moment. Zhang trapped Parker against the ropes and unleashed a crushing left hand that dropped the New Zealander to a knee. The referee's count began, and the arena held its breath. Parker rose at 8, his legs unsteady, but his eyes burning with defiance. He survived the round with clever movement, dodging follow-up shots that could have ended it. The knockdown trended instantly on X, with fans praising Parker's toughness and Zhang's terrifying power. Commentators called it a gut-check moment, and the sentiment echoed online. Rounds 6 and 7 were a war of attrition. Parker's jab continued to frustrate Zhang, landing with enough frequency to swell the bigger man's left eye. Zhang responded with a brutal body shot that slowed Parker's movement, but the New Zealander answered with a 3-punch combo that drew roars. Each round was a test of endurance, with both fighters digging into reserves of will. The X timeline buzzed with analysis, fans debating whether Parker's output or Zhang's damage would sway the judges. Round 8 saw Parker land a crisp uppercut that staggered Zhang, a rare moment where the giant looked vulnerable. The crowd sensed a shift, but Zhang roared back with a combination that forced Parker to cover up. The exchanges were relentless, each man refusing to yield. On X, clips of the uppercut went viral, with one user posting, "Parker's got heart for days." Zhang's response drew equal praise, with another fan tweeting, "Big Bang doesn't flinch scary power." The championship rounds tested both fighters' limits. Zhang's punches, though slower, still carried knockout force. Parker, his face swollen but determined, landed a series of jabs and hooks that kept Zhang honest. In round 10, Parker's uppercut landed again, rocking Zhang, but the Chinese star absorbed it and pressed forward. The crowd was on its feet, and X was flooded with reactions. Fans split on whether Parker's activity or Zhang's power shots would win the night. Round 11 was a grueling affair. Both men were exhausted, their punches less crisp, but less determined. Zhang landed a heavy right that pushed Parker to the ropes, but Parker slipped away, landing a counter that drew a nod from Zhang. The mutual respect was evident, even as they traded blows. X-users posted slow-motion clips of the exchanges, with one viral post captioned, "This is what heavyweight boxing is all about." The final round was a masterpiece of heart and skill. Zhang pressed forward, looking for one last big shot, while Parker danced and countered, his jab still finding its mark. Both men emptied their tanks, knowing the scorecards were close. A final flurry from Parker earned a roar from the crowd, and Zhang's answering combination shook the ring. As the bell rang, the fighters embraced, their mutual exhaustion a testament to the war they'd fought. The arena erupted, and X lit up with fans calling it an instant classic. The judge's decision was razor close. Zhang's power shots and the knockdown earned him a majority decision, with scores of 115 to 112, 114 to 113, and 114 to 114. Parker, gracious in defeat, vowed to return stronger, while Zhang called out the division's top names, his eyes on a title shot. X exploded with reactions. Some argued Parker's activity deserved the win. Others pointed to Zhang's damage as the decider. The fight trended globally, with millions of views on highlight clips. The aftermath was a whirlwind. Zhang's victory solidified him as a top contender, his name now mentioned alongside Fury and Usyk. Parker, despite the loss, earned universal respect for his performance, proving he still belonged among the elite. Clips of the knockdown and Parker's recovery dominated X, with fans sharing GIFs and analysis. The fight was hailed as a reminder of why heavyweights captivate the world. Raw power, unyielding heart, and moments that define legacies. Zhang's post-fight comments praised Parker's toughness, admitting the New Zealander pushed him to the brink. Parker, ever the sportsman, tipped his hat to Zhang's power, promising to learn and return. Their respect resonated with fans, who flooded X with admiration. The fight sparked debates about what's next: Zhang chasing a title, Parker rebuilding toward another shot. For fans, it was a gift, a 12-round epic that delivered on every promise. The highlights are a must-watch, capturing every punch, dodge, and dramatic moment. Available on major sports platforms, the full fight is a masterclass in boxing. New fans can dive in through viral clips on X, while seasoned viewers will appreciate the tactical nuances. The call to action is clear. Watch, share, and join the conversation. This was boxing at its finest, a story told in sweat, blood, and heart. Respect for his performance, proving he still belonged among the elite. Clips of the knockdown and Parker's recovery dominated X, with fans sharing GIFs and analysis. The fight was hailed as a reminder of why heavyweights captivate the world. Raw power, unyielding heart, and moments that define legacies. Zhang's post-fight comments praised Parker's toughness, admitting the New Zealander pushed him to the brink. Parker, ever the sportsman, tipped his hat to Zhang's power, promising to learn and return. Their respect resonated with fans, who flooded X with admiration. The fight sparked debates about what's next: Zhang chasing a title, Parker rebuilding toward another shot. For fans, it was a gift. The highlights are a must-watch, capturing every punch, dodge, and dramatic moment. Available on major sports platforms, the full fight is a masterclass in boxing. New fans can dive in through viral clips on X, while seasoned viewers will appreciate the tactical nuances. The call to action is clear. Watch, share, and join the conversation. This was boxing at its finest, a story told in sweat, blood, and heart. Parker, despite the loss, earned universal respect